A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. We've got the latest news lined up for you from here at home and across the globe. I'm Charlotte Benedict.
And I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Indian State Minister of Civil Aviation says there is no proposal for its aviation authority to take a controlling stake in the MATTALA airport. Energy scam similar to the bond scam exposed. Guhagoda garbage dump poses serious risks. Vijaypala Hettiarachchi hits out at option for a common candidate. Longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century tonight.
Now the stories in detail. The Civil Aviation Ministry of India has announced there is no proposal under consideration for the Airports Authority of India to buy a controlling stake in Sri Lanka's MATTALA Rajapaksa International Airport. The Indian Minister of State for Civil Aviation, Jagath, has made this statement to the Indian Parliament yesterday.
In the Lok Sabha, BJP member Poonam Mahajan had asked whether the AAI is considering purchasing a controlling stake in the MATTALA airport, thereby gaining ownership of the airport. In response, the Indian Minister of State for Civil Aviation has said there is no such proposal, adding that no such proposal is under consideration at present. To the query on whether the AAI would build a flying school and a maintenance repair and overhaul unit at the MATTALA airport, Indian Minister of State for Civil Aviation Jagath had replied in the negative.
The
Minister of Civil Aviation of Sri Lanka informs Parliament that the Airports Authority of India had requested if the MATTALA airport will be given for $375 million. This is told by the Sri Lankan minister. He is lying to the country. However, at the Indian Lok Sabha, the respective minister, in response to a question posed by an MP, says this has not been even subject to consideration. Why are they lying to the people of this country? When the Hambantota port was sold, the government said it is given to the Chinese government. But what has happened now? If it was given to their government and if China Harbour is owned by the government, what has happened? The government of China is one that implements the capital punishment for every act of bribery and corruption. Giving and accepting bribes is a crime. Therefore, according to the law of China, the director of the Chinese company need to be sent to the gallows for bribing a Sri Lankan president to the tune of millions. What happened? This is regarding a company. Now they are saying that there will be objection from the people because it is going to be given to the Indian government. However, the Airports Authority of India says there is no proposal under consideration to at least need to obtain a 75% stake of MATTALA and form a joint venture. This is announced in the Indian Parliament. They are attempting to sell it to a private firm.
Meanwhile, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa commented on the MATTALA International Airport during an event at Carlton House in Tangol.
That is a very wrong thing to do. We oppose the sale of resources. We are being told to repay the loans. The loans could have been paid with the money they spend on bringing down gold. It could have been paid with the money brought for a few months. A certain amount remained following the price of fuel in the global market dropping. They could have settled both the loans. But the loans are not only for these two matters. A railroad for the north was constructed. Water and electricity was given. Roads were constructed. Hospitals were constructed. We obtained loans for those as well. They do not speak of the north and east. They only show us what is in Hambantota, and it appears they envy Hambantota. We oppose the sale of this to a company, be it the Chinese, Indians, US or from any other place. If an international conflict arises, Sri Lanka will be in the middle of it. That is a serious risk.
The following is an expose of a serious misappropriation of funds which is similar to the central bank treasury bond scam.
On several previous occasions, Newsfirst exposed many details surrounding the electricity mafia. The engagement by Lanka Transformers Limited, or LTL, takes center stage of the key irregularities. LTL is a company in which the Ceylon Electricity Board holds a majority share. Another major misappropriation of public funds done by LTL is exposed following a special research study carried out by Verite Research. The study exposed that the government of Sri Lanka had taken a massive risk and made investments using public funds while there is no benefit. It was in 2006 that a firm going by the name of West Coast Private Limited was formed for the construction of the 300 megawatt Kerawalapitia combined cycle power plant. Initially, it was decided that the main shareholder of this company should be Lakdanavi Limited. A majority share of Lakdanavi Limited is owned by Lanka Transformers Limited. However, it is the government that had given a guarantee to secure a 22.7 billion rupee loan facility from HSBC for this project. The government had also intervened to secure more funding for the project, 2.9 billion rupees from the National Savings Bank and another 2.9 billion from the Employees Provident Fund. The government had given a guarantee to secure a 28.7 billion rupee loan for West Coast Private Limited for the Kerawalapitia project. According to the Foreign Loans Act of Sri Lanka, if a guarantee is given by the government of Sri Lanka relating to a foreign loan for a project, the state should have 50% stake in the project. The study has revealed that the 50% share of West Coast Private Limited had been temporarily vested with the government on 14 separate occasions to fulfill the aforementioned criteria. As of March 2011, the government owned the 50% shares of West Coast Private Limited, while 18.2% was owned by Lanka Electricity Company Private Limited, which is owned by the CEB. Another 27.1% was owned by the EPF, and the other 4.8% was owned by Lakdanavi Limited. What is startling is that for the guarantee, no dividends were paid to the government of Sri Lanka. However, dividends had been paid to Lakdanavi Limited, LECO and the EPF. The method of payment too is another astounding factor in this expose. Accordingly, Lakdanavi Limited, which owns only 4.8% of shares, had been paid a dividend of 39.75%. The EPF, which owns 27.1% of shares, was paid a dividend of 20.04%. LECO, which owns 18.2% of the shares, was paid a dividend of 20.4%. Another startling factor is that an agreement had been reached for the 50% shares owned by the government to be vested with Lakdanavi Limited once the entire loan amount is paid off. The research study had also revealed the Ceylon Electricity Board does not own 48.5% of shares in West Coast Private Limited. 3 months after they were elected, the central bank was looted. Even worse scams have taken place. The revelations made regarding the energy sector clearly indicate the scam is far greater than the central bank treasury bond scam. We have seen the scams that took place in the construction of the expressways. We have seen the revelations made on the Central Expressway as well. These are very serious crimes. These need to be investigated. The issue we have is this: will the law be enforced after these matters are investigated? Files are piling up with the Attorney General. Where are the investigations and the cases regarding them? There are cases with regard to the rogues of the past. They are being taken to court, but they are still in the open. The situation is such that the rogues are laughing at us. We request the President to appoint a presidential commission to conduct an independent inquiry regarding the electricity mafia. This is a massive scam and cannot be borne by the people and the country. This is a serious crime.
Now, on several occasions, we reported on the Guhagoda garbage dump in Kandy, which is second only to the Meethotamulla garbage mountain. However, due to authorities not directing their attention, environmentalists point out that there are high chances for a tragedy worse than that of Meethotamulla will take place in the near future.
The Meethotamulla tragedy, we reported on the Guhagoda garbage mountain on several occasions. However, instead of properly managing the garbage, the mountain is increasing in size on a daily basis. This garbage mountain, situated close to the Mahaveli River, which is the drinking water source for many, has created several environmental issues. Distance between the garbage mountain and the Mahaveli River is a mere 50 meters. The garbage dump, which has been piling up for the last 30 years, is around 200 meters tall at present, and it causes many environmental issues. These footage bear testament to the fact that this is a site not only where the Kandy Municipal Council disposes garbage, but also a location where waste from toilets are released to. They wanted to put all the garbage from the Municipal Council in this land. That has happened now, and the Mahaveli River is also being destroyed. All these families are now displaced. We told the government officials to take action, but no one took any notice.
හිටපු පවුල් ඔක්කොම අනාථ වෙලා රජයේ ඉන්න හැම එකෙකුටම කිව්වා උන් එකෙක්වත් සත පහකට ගණන් ගත්තේ නැහැ.
Even water sources have started to dry up due to the effects of the garbage mountain. Earlier, 21 families were removed from the area due to a possible threat of a section of the mountain collapsing.
ලේ උපාසකම්මලා සිල් අරගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලන්ට දානි ටිකක්වත් හරියට ගන්න බෑ මැස්සෝ. අපි මීට කලිනුත් බලධාරීන් දැනුවත් කරා. ඒකට විසඳුමක් හැටියට මේ හිටිය නිවෙස් කීපයක් ඉවත් කරලා මේ පැත්ත පාළුවට ඇරිය එක විතරයි කරේ. ඒකවත් ඒ කොටස ඉවත් කරාට තව කොටසක් රැඳිලා ඉන්නවනේ එහා පැත්තේ. ඒ අයට ඉතින් මොකද්ද ඕගොල්ලන් දෙන විසඳුම?
ව්‍යාපෘතියක් කරනවා කියලා සියලුම ජනතාව අයින් කළා. නමුත් දැන් මෙතෙක් කිසිදු ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ආරම්භ කරන සලකුණක්වත්
Though a compost producing unit has been set up adjacent to the garbage mountain to minimize the amount of garbage, the unit is not functioning at present.
All laws with regard to the Mahaveli River clearly states that dumping garbage into the river is prohibited and illegal. However, the Kandy Municipal Council is doing so at present. The water from the river is directed to the North Central Province via Polgolla. Soon a tragedy worse than the Meethotamulla will take place here, and all the people are inconvenienced by this. Dumping of garbage is continuing. Even the people have a responsibility, but the KMC has a greater responsibility. Measures will be taken to sort this matter. We would need the support of the central government to solve an issue of this gravity. We will take measures to avoid any tragedy. Although guidance was given, the garbage mountain in Tekawata has not changed in size. Several months ago, we witnessed several areas that released methane gas. We performed research and tests. There were risks of landslides as well. No matter how much we informed the respective authorities and institutions, those personnel did not focus their attention towards this issue. Therefore, we as the university are disappointed that the responsible authorities are not focusing on the matter and are simply idling and wasting time. Some ministers came before the media and commented on waste management. However, we have never seen any practical implementation even today. The Guhagoda garbage dump will definitely collapse into the Mahaveli River and there will be serious loss of life. After tragedy takes place, the ministers and local government bodies will start saying they want this garbage. There is no solution to the garbage issue and it is disappointing.
Railway employees staged a protest yesterday over the ownership of a land located in Maradana. What is the issue surrounding the ownership of this land? Newsfirst delves deeper into the issue.
The plot of land in question, which was owned by the Railway Department, was taken under the purview of the Urban Development Authority in the year 2011. The plot of land was later leased out in 2015 for the construction of what is considered the largest technological city in the country, Trace Expert City. Trace Expert City was built on 7 acres of the 10-acre plot of land owned by the Urban Development Authority. The debate, however, is on the car park of Trace Expert City. The detailed designing of the railway project funded by the Asian Development Bank to be initiated in Colombo and its suburbs is currently underway. A request was made for the plot of land to be used as the site for the construction of the Colombo Railway Control Centre and the Chief Operations Centre. A group of employees of the Railways Department had attempted to separate the plot of land using a fence last evening. There are many other lands owned by the Railway Development Authority and they are not used that often. Therefore, we think that one of these plots of land are better suited to be used for this purpose. We proposed that a different location be considered for this. It was during this time of consideration that the employees of the Railway Department are opposing this and launching a trade union action. However, when inquired, a senior official of the railway project being implemented in Colombo and its suburbs said that cabinet approval was granted for the construction of the Colombo Railway Control Centre and the Chief Operations Centre. He added that the construction of the fence yesterday was done after relevant stakeholders were informed. The senior official further added that the Colombo Railway Control Centre and the Chief Operations Centre will be constructed as a state-of-the-art facility and added that this will benefit Trace Expert City as well.
The only issue here is that no one was informed. The Prime Minister and Minister Nimal Siripala weren't aware that the plot of land in the plan was in the middle of the IT park. I'm not sure how far the Cabinet was aware of this. I think there should be a separate debate on the discussions that are held when 40, 50, 60, 70 and 80 Cabinet papers are presented. It was Thursday and we asked for this to be done after the long weekend. When I asked them, they said that the team will come in October after the feasibility study is done. They said that loan plans will take till 2019 to be passed. So there is enough time. There is no need to rush that it should be done on the Poya day. That is why we reasonably asked for this to be done after discussions with Minister Nimal Siripala and all other interested parties and after they are properly informed.
Today marks a very important day in the Buddhist calendar as Buddhists the world over observe Asala Full Moon Poya Day.
Since early this morning, devotees were seen engaged in Amisa and Pratipatti Puja at temples all over the island. According to ancient Buddhist literature, Asala Poya Day marks the conception of the Bodhisattva in the womb of Queen Mahamaya. Buddha's preaching of his first sermon, the Dhammsak Pavatum Sutta, to the 5 ascetics took place at the Deer Park near Baranas on an Asala Poya Day, thereby inaugurating his public ministry. Asala Full Moon Poya Day ranks quite high in the order of significance to the Sri Lankan Buddhist because on such a day that the Buddha Sasana was established. A Sambuddha Puja took place at the Shakamalakir this afternoon opposite the head office of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited. Harcross Chemical Private Limited, a member of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, supported the event. The lunar eclipse, the longest of the 21st century, is set to occur tonight as the moon moves into the shadow of the earth. From start to finish, the entire celestial event will last for 6 hours and 13 minutes.
A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, the earth and the moon are perfectly aligned. The earth in the middle prevents sunlight from reaching the moon. The celestial event will be visible to Sri Lanka and many other countries. For Sri Lankans, this lunar eclipse can be witnessed from 10:45 p.m. to 3:48 a.m. tomorrow. The reason for the celestial event to take place for a long period is because the moon will be located at the furthest location on the Earth's elliptical path. There is no harm in witnessing this from the naked eye. It will not take a black color as it did 3 or 4 decades ago. The reason is because based on the environmental pollution, a red color is witnessed when sunlight enters the atmosphere. That is why it is called a blood moon. We will be able to understand the air pollution through this.
The Ransilugama Udagamana model village constructed in Navagategama Putlam was vested with the public today. The event was presided over by the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
This village is the 97th model village constructed under the Samarasinghe Yalipibidana Udagamana program. The village comprises of 21 houses equipped with all amenities and was constructed at a cost of 22.1 million rupees. 43.2 million rupees worth of housing loans were presented to 400 low-income earning families in the area today as well. The general election and presidential election are drawing close. We have aimed to be here until 2025. Have no fear. Even in 2025, the president will be from our side. When 2,500 villages are constructed, who becomes more powerful? It is the common man, the farmer, the fisherman, the labourer and the poor. What happened until now? All those who took your votes and wore a crown on their heads took a seat in the throne in the palace and became powerful. We will make the common man the most powerful in the land. I am proud to announce this fact to you.
On to one of our headline-making stories. UNP MP Vijaypala Hettiarachchi convened a media briefing in Galle today to comment on the common candidate.
We have become disgusted with the concept of a common candidate. The people who were beaten with the fire torch is scared of the firefly as well. That is the policy I follow. We are prepared to sacrifice our lives for the leaders put forward by the party. The UNP must field a common candidate from within the party. We have no objections to that person to work together with other parties as the common candidate. However, I have a question as to what would be the response by the UNP supporters if the UNP fields an outsider as the candidate. The aspirations of the UNP supporters and the people are for Ranil or Sajith. Those names are etched in the hearts of all the UNP supporters.
Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, speaking to the media following an event in Pethiagoda, Kelaniya, expressed the following views.
There is no point in the original decision being re-implemented. Time is gold. We have already lost time. There is no time for talk alone. When matters are being pulled either way, we will be doing that for a long time. The issue relating to the provision of tabs will also split two ways. The same was with the issue on providing appointments. If this situation continues, we will not be able to do anything for the remaining 2 years. There is no point in being a scarecrow minister. There needs to be capability of taking decisions and implementing them. We cannot help it if the matter works out or goes wrong. At this time, it's not worth to engage in politics aiming at the next election. We need to work aiming at the aspirations of the people. If we do that, everything will fall in place. I cannot say. I think he is a person with a questionable record. I cannot understand what he thinks, says and does. Are you referring to the Pradesh Sabha election? That is the joke I see in this. I said I will place the bond for him. We are pleased to have something from that side as well.
Compensation was presented to the people whose property were badly damaged in the tensions that took place in Darga town during the reign of the previous government. The presentation was made by Minister of Health, Nutrition and Indigenous Medicine, Dr. Wasantha Senaratna.
The Ministry of Resettlement, Rehabilitation, Northern Development and Hindu Religious Affairs directed the presentation of compensation to 165 people. Racism was created in this country by the political leaders and not by you. They did so to secure power in the country. The reason why our neighboring countries have surpassed us is because they never use religion, race or caste to secure votes. They engaged in politics thinking of the country. They moved forward and we moved backwards. The incident in Darga town is an example of the disaster. Our responsibility is to ensure such incidents never take place, and we must rise against such incidents.
The tea producers of the Kandy district in a letter alleges that several factories in the central province have adulterated the tea using sugar syrup.
The letter, which has been sent to several key stakeholders, including the President, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Plantation, says, quote, the genuine tea factory owners have to commit suicide or take up to fraudulent methods of producing teas, unquote. On the Face the Nation program aired on the 4th of June this year, the former chairman of the tea board, Rohan Pethiagoda, had this to say.
You were able to map 53 factories which were adulterating tea in the country.
The people whom we apprehended involved in adulteration had been watched by the tea board for a long time. It's just that it was difficult to catch them. But we devised a new way of detecting sugar in tea, added sugar in through an adulteration process, and we implemented that just in one morning by surprise, and caught these factories that we had been watching in any case for a long. Small minority, I think about 5% of factories are involved in this, of adding sugar in order to increase the blackness of the tea and improve what they call the twist, so it has a better appearance.
Newsfirst inquired on the matter from the Secretary to the Ministry of Plantation Industries. We have a problem regarding the test. We obtained the TRI recommendation for the batch that was said to be adulterated after the test. We have a problem regarding the test. We obtained the TRI recommendation for the batch that was said to be adulterated after the test. We have an issue there as we don't have the baseline data. Because of that, the TRI and the Tea Board have made a system for that now. We cannot take the future legal action because we have this problem regarding the test. We won't have a problem in the future because now we have the data.
Before taking legal action, they must know what the statutes are. You can't just take legal action. The world is aware that the government of Sri Lanka, Tea Board, has caught 53 factories for allegedly mixing sugar with the tea. Now they want to know what has happened to these factories. Are they still manufacturing? and what action they have been taken. So the Ministry of Plantation is suffering without being able to take any action.
So then, sir, they are playing with the country's main exports.
Absolutely, correct. So very stupid action has been taken, and not being able to correct it. Political reasons, no, I personally feel this is a political thing to show things are being done. When politics and commerce get mixed up, this is what happens. But I have unconfirmed reports that some of these factories have actually added, and those have come out in test results.
Those companies they're selling anything they want.
Precisely, that is what is happening now. So today, what is happening today is because of this the close commodity monopoly. They will do anything and everything and adding all these things and trying to sell.
On to sports news now. Minister Arjuna Ranatunga, speaking to reporters today, commented on a number of sport-related matters that are subject to discussion at present.
පසුගියදා කැබිනට් එකේදී ඔබතුමා ක්‍රීඩාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් කතා කිරීම නිසා හේතුව නිසා ජනාධිපතිවරයා විසින් කිව්වද ඔබතුමාට ක්‍රීඩාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් කතා කරන්න එපා ඔබතුමාගේ අමාත්‍යාංශය වැඩ කටයුතු කරගෙන.
I usually do not speak about cabinet proceedings. As cabinet spokesperson, Minister Rajit Senaratne said no such thing had transpired. I saw this in cartoons and newspapers owned by bookies. They are trying to showcase something that did not happen via the media.
Faisa Mustafa ක්‍රීඩා අමාත්‍යවරයා සමගත් ඔබ අතර බයින් බස්වීමක් ඇති වුණාද මේ ක්‍රීඩාව ප්‍රතිපාදිය සම්බන්ධයෙන්?
Faisa Mustafa is a president's counsel. I cannot teach him about the law, but I too have studied about sports law. An act and regulations were noted, and I witnessed there were articles that misled the cabinet. I saw a need to rectify it. The president said to pass this and continue with it.
කීපයක් තිබුණා. ඒක මට හදන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තිබුණා. හැබැයි ජනාධිපතිතුමා කිව්වා මේක නෑ නෑ ඔක පාස් කරලා කරගෙන යන්න කියලා. ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනයේ බලධාරීන් පත් කළ තියෙන්නේ 44 වෙනි වගන්තිය යටතේ කියලා. නමුත් අපි දකින්නේ නැහැ ක්‍රීඩා පනතේ 44 වෙනි වගන්තියක් 43 ඉවරයි. නෑ ඉතින් ඕක තමයි මම පෙන්නලා දෙන්නේ.
That is what I wanted to highlight. I cannot teach the law to a president's counsel. Those will be discussed in the future.
සාකච්ඡා කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙයි.
ඒ කියන්නේ නීතිය දන්න ෆයිසර් මුස්තාෆා එතුමාටත් පෙරදිලා නීතිය දන්නේ නැහැ.
නෑ එතුමා සමහරවිට
We must find out if he had brought forward a law from the bookies. Whatever said and done, during former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's time, Mahindananda Alutgamage was the Minister of Sports. Both saw that gamblers cannot come forward from the sports law. It was implemented. Despite political differences, if one has done something good, I will not attack it. You cannot develop sports with these gamblers. This government of good governance will go down in history as the government that destroyed sports in the country.
සූදුකාරයෙන් එක කවදාවත් මේ ක්‍රීඩාව හදන්න බෑ. හැබැයි අපි ඉතිහාසගත වෙනවා මේ ආණ්ඩුව මොකද යහපාලන කියන ආණ්ඩුව තමයි ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාව විනාශ කරපු ආණ්ඩුව බවට.
ඒක ඔබතුමා මේ වෙද්දී ආණ්ඩුවේ ඉන්නේ කලකිරීම.
නෑ ආණ්ඩුවේ ඉන්නේ කලකිරීමක්.
More than disappointment, I am in government with pain because we came to power to put a stop to theft and other malpractices. But in this process, unsuitable people have entered and are attempting to destroy the government. This pains me.
මේ ආණ්ඩුව කඩන්න හදන එක ගැන මම හරි වේදනාවකින් ඉන්නවා.
දැන් කතා බහක් ඇති වෙලා තිනවා හිටපු ක්‍රිකට් නායක කුමාර් සංගක්කර මහතාත් දේශපාලනයට එනවයි කියන එක. ඔබතුමා එහෙම ආව සහයෝගය දෙනවද?
නෑ එහෙම තාම මම
I have not seen anything like that. I think it is better for sportsmen to come forward. If a person like Imran Khan was able to become Prime Minister, sportsmen can enter politics and do the right thing. We need sportsmen who do not surrender to money.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. I'm Charlene Benedict.
And I'm Arundhati Madan Naik. Good night.